Good evening, everybody. Today we continue actually from the Visakha Bucha. We make it, this is already the fourth Dhamma talk about this. We make first about the birthday of the Buddha, then the enlightenment of the Buddha. And then last time I talked about the third things, which is the Parinibbana, the final enlightenment of the Buddha, or the passing away of the Buddha, from the Maha-parinibbana Sutta. I just want to, before we continue, actually we reach to the stage where the Buddha, the situation when the Buddha is coming to Kusinagar to lay down for the final enlightenment, for finishing his life, for the last resting. So I want first to share with you some pictures. First we start with this one. Okay, you see here, this is the trip what the Buddha make in the Maha-parinibbana Sutta that we was reading. Actually, this one we were skipping this. We start from here. Here, this is the place, Vasali. This is the place where the Buddha make the wish that within 3 months I will finish my life. So we talk about this. It almost to the Mara. Actually, we said to Mara, Mara asked him, and then he could not refuse it. Okay, so the Buddha walked all this way, about 138 kilometers to Pava. He was okay, he was not sick that time, this way. He was teaching the Sila Samadhi Panya all the way through and teaching another different kind of instruction, what we talked last time. And then in Pava, this is the final about 5 miles, 8 kilometers. It's taken about almost 1 day. We eat the food from Chanda. The men give him the food, lunch, and then the Buddha he start to be sick, and then the next day he's walking this way direction. Now he's coming to Kusinagar. Okay, now the Buddha is coming, entering Kusinagar. So we reach to the stage in our Sutta. The Buddha is reaching Kusinagar. It's taken about 1 day. He reaching Kusinagar in the evening. Yeah? From all this trip, that taken 3 months actually. Only 1 day, Buddha walking from Pava to Kusinagar, and he reaching in the evening. He have to stop about more than 25 times because of his sickness, from the stomach sickness. He's going diarrhea with blood coming. And so all this trip, we talk about this last time. We covered it last time, last dhammatalk. Now we are coming to the stage where the Buddha is entering Kusinagar. Okay, so I just want to show you some other things that in here. If I will, how I move, I think here. Okay. You see, this is the Buddha, he lay down, he coming and laying down, this is statue. From the presenting the final enlightenment of the Buddha, you can see the legs is not equal. There is different kind of things, what is showing the end is also dropping down. This is some statue showing the difference between the Buddha passing away and the Buddha is resting, because when you're resting, you're really mindful. When he died, he just left his body. Another things to show, it's this monument. Actually, this statue, what we just saw now, the Buddha is inside here. This is statue that here. It's about, I think, all this, the size of this, it's about 3 to 4 meters. Okay, this is Ashoka, the king Ashoka. He built these kind of places to for a memorial and offer the monk place to stay. Okay, so this is 3 pictures. Later on, I will come back to this again. Okay, this will be next time. Now we will. I stop sharing this one, and then Shima, you are there?
Yes, Phra Ofer, I'm here.
Okay, thank you very much. Last time also Shima was reading very nice for us, and then we do it again. Continue. We are coming to the part 5 at Kusinagar, okay? This is the last moment when the Buddha is entering Kushinagar. Okay, this is the last day of the Buddha actually. So we're starting from here. Okay, the last place of rest. So please, Shima, you can read it, and then I will explain through the time that you are. I will stop you every sometimes, and I will explain different things accordingly. This is from Maha-parinibbana Sutta. Okay, just to let you know, this is Maha-parinibbana Sutta. It's a Digha Nikaya 16. Yeah, please.
Last place of rest. Then the Blessed One addressed the Venerable Ananda, saying, "Come, Ananda, let us cross the farther bank of Hiranavati and go to the Mala Sala Grove in the vicinity of Kusinara." "So be it, Lord." And the Blessed One, together with a large company of bhikkhus, went to the further bank of the river Hiranavati, to the Sala Grove of the Malas in the vicinity of Kusinara. And there he spoke to the Venerable Ananda, saying, "Please, Ananda, prepare for me a couch between the twin Sala trees, with the head to the north. I am weary, Ananda, and want to lie down."
Okay, sorry, one moment, Shima. You see the Buddha coming, but you saw the picture, this statue that the Buddha is actually laying down. So he's laying down on the right side, like this. We say the lion position, and the head is to the north. Okay, so this is the statue that they built there in the monument where the Ashoka he built the temple for the monk. This is presenting this moment that we are just reading now. The Buddha actually was laying down between two sala tree. This sala tree, there is a sala tree there now, but it's not exactly on the place where the statue of the Buddha. Please.
"So be it, Lord." And the Venerable Ananda did as the Blessed One asked him to do. Then the Blessed One lay down on his right side in the lion's posture, resting one foot upon the other, and so disposed himself, mindfully and clearly comprehending. At that time the twin Sala trees broke out in full bloom, though it was not the season of flowering, and the blossoms rained upon the body of the Tathagata and dropped and scattered, and were thrown upon it in worship of the Tathagata. And celestial mandarava flowers and heavenly sandalwood powder from the sky rained down upon the body of the Tathagata, and dropped and scattered, and were strewn upon it in worship of the Tathagata. And the sound of heavenly voices and heavenly instruments made music in the air out of reverence of the Tathagata. And the Blessed One spoke to the Venerable Ananda, saying,
Oh, sorry, one moment. You see what happened? It's happened something like a magic suddenly. The tree around start to blossom, because it was not the season. It's not supposed to be flowers that moment. But suddenly flowers come up on the tree. And suddenly start to be music, okay? Start to be something like wonder things come to be. This is all as a worshipping, celestial and nature worshipping or saluting to the Buddha itself, okay? But there is a reason that it's happened. I will show you soon what the reason that this is something like the wonder, how the nature is worshipping the Buddha. Because there's some worshipping which is higher than this. Yeah, please.
And the Blessed One spoke to the Venerable Ananda, saying, "Ananda, the twin Sala trees are in full bloom, though it is not the season of flowering, and the blossoms rain upon the body of the Tathagata, and drop and scatter, and are strewn upon it in worship of the Tathagata. And celestial coral flowers and heavenly sandalwood powder from the sky rain down upon the body of the Tathagata, and drop and scatter, and are strewn upon it in worship of the Tathagata. And the sound of heavenly voices and heavenly instruments make music in the air out of reverence for the Tathagata. Yet, sorry.
Yeah, you go on. And then now the essence of all what happened actually, please.
Yet it is not thus, Ananda, that the Tathagata is respected, venerated, esteemed, worshipped, and honored in the highest degree. But, Ananda, whatever bhikkhu or bhikkhuni, layman or laywoman, abides by the Dhamma, lives uprightly in the Dhamma, walks in the way of the Dhamma, it is by such a one that the Tathagata is respected, venerated, esteemed, worshipped, and honored in the highest degree. Therefore, Ananda, thus should you train yourselves. We shall abide by the Dhamma, live uprightly in the Dhamma, walk in the way of the Dhamma.
You see what happened. It's not about talking about, oh, how beautiful, how the nature worship the Buddha or whatever. We are talking about Buddhism. We are talking the essence. The Buddha, the most important thing is how to get free from suffering. How? So the Buddha should explain it. Even so, the so wonderful things and whatever nature comes, beautiful and heavenly flowers and all these things, but it's not the essence of what the Buddha teaching. The highest worshipping of the Buddha is just to practice to clear our mind, to walk the eightfold path and to purify ourselves. This is why the Buddha come to the world. He's not coming for people to worship him. Okay? So this is actually the essence of these things. How wonderful is the nature come to be, even the tree and everything, they come to worship the Buddha. But the Buddha said this is nothing. You have to practice. This is the most worshiping. This is why I'm here. Okay, I make all this struggling for you to get out from suffering, not to make celebration. Please.
The grief of the gods. At the time the Venerable Upavana was standing before the Blessed One, fanning him, and the Blessed One rebuked him, saying, "Move aside, bhikkhu, do not stand in front of me."
You see, who is this Upavana? Upavana was one of the close students of the Buddha. He worked with the Buddha, he took care about the Buddha, he helped the Buddha so long. And now what happened? That Upavana is sitting nearby the Buddha because this is something, or let's say his duty. But then the Buddha, he chased him away. He said, go away, monk. Don't sit here. But why this happened? What is the reason that this occasion happened? Again, there is an essence to this. There is a meaning for all these stories, okay? So please.
And to the Venerable Ananda came the thought, this Venerable Upavana has been in attendance on the Blessed One for a long time, closely associating with him and serving him. Yet now, right at the end, the Blessed One rebukes him. What now could be the reason? What the cause for the Blessed One to rebuke the Venerable Upavana, saying, "Move aside, bhikkhu, do not stand in front of me"?
Yeah, Ananda also was thinking about this. Why chase him away? He's so dedicated to the Buddha, this monk. And now, in the last moment, the Buddha chased him away. So Ananda also was wondering why it's happened like this. Please.
And the Venerable Ananda told his thoughts to the Blessed One. The Blessed One said, "Throughout the tenfold world system, Ananda, there are hardly any of the deities that have not gathered together to look upon the Tathagata. For a distance of 12 Jayanas around the Sala Grove of the Malas in the vicinity of Kusinara, there is not a spot that could be pricked with the tip of hair that is not filled with powerless deities. And these deities, Anandas, are complaining, 'From afar have we come to look upon the Tathagata, for rare in the world is the arising of Tathagata, Arahants, fully enlightened ones. And this day, in the last watch of the night, the Tathagata's Parinibbana will come about. But this bhikkhu of great powers has placed himself right in front of the Blessed One, concealing him, so that now, at the very end, we are prevented from looking upon him. Thus, Ananda, the deities complain."
So you see what they want to say here? That not only human beings worship the Buddha. also angels, and so many of them they come, so many they cry, so crowded already. And this is now we are talking about the time is about let's say about 4 o'clock in noontime, between 2 to 6 o'clock, something like this. All this occasion what we are talking now, it's about, let's say, after afternoon, in the early afternoon, about 2 to 6 o'clock in the afternoon. Okay, so they want to show even the angels coming, and they are coming, so many of them, to see to separate from the Buddha, something like this. It's very rare to find the Buddha. So that's why it's occasion that the Buddha, something like tell the monk, go away, go away. They want to show how crowded is around. Yeah, please.
Of what kind of deities, Lord, is the Blessed One aware? There are deities, Ananda, in space and on earth, who are earthly minded. With disheveled hair they weep, with uplifted arms they weep, flinging themselves on the ground. They roll from side to side, lamenting, too soon has the Blessed One come to his parinibbana. Too soon has the happy one come to his parinibbana. Too soon will the eye of the world vanish from sight. But those deities who are freed from passion, mindful and comprehending, reflect in this way, impermanent are all compounded things. How could this be otherwise?
One moment. You see, these things will happen, this kind of occasion, what we are reading now, it will repeat a few times. What is want to show? That the Buddha first showed that, say that there is, around us, this is the form Rajika, that is that they are staying with us, okay? They are staying in the tree, they're staying in different kind of places like this, okay? So this is the deity of the earth, but there is also deity of the space, something like from very far, they are coming. And this is different kind of deity according to concentration and the purity what they develop. One time I talked about this before, 31 stages of the words according to the also angels is there. So the Buddha said that there is some angels, they are crying and shouting and rolling themselves, something like the lamentation, their sorrow and sadness. Because why? Because they don't develop in the mind. So they cry so much, the sorrow and sadness, that the Buddha is living. They why dying? But the Buddha said that some deities, when the one that understand, you see, free from passion, this is mean anagami and arahant. You have sotapan, also will cry. Sakatakami also have sadness, okay? Maybe a little bit, but might cry. Huh? But you have anagami, no have sadness and sorrow inside. And arahant. So you say the deity which is in this case arahant cannot be deity, okay? But anagami, they are something like they have the wisdom, they are not crying. They say, why you have to cry? There is nothing reason to cry. Everything anyway anicca. So also Buddha have to die. And these things will repeat again and again. According to human being, can be that arahant and anagami will include inside. Angels, they are already arahant, it means there are no angels anymore. Okay? So this is something like the Buddha explained which kind of angels around us, what other people they cannot see, Ananda cannot see. Please.
Ananda's concern. Formerly, Lord, on leaving the quarters after the rains, the bhikkhus would set forth to see the Tathagata, and to us there was the gain and benefit of receiving and associating with those very referred bhikkhus who came to have audience with the Blessed One and to wait upon him. But Lord, after the Blessed One has gone, we shall no longer have that gain and benefit.
Okay, you see what Ananda asked the Buddha? What to do? Normally, during the year, only in the time of the rainy season, the monk cannot traveling. But in between, then all the other time in the year, the monks, if they want to gain some benefit or to gain some wisdom or whatever, or to be happy, they come to the Buddha. But in this case, the Buddha said, Ananda asked the Buddha, what to do now when you are not alive? How can something be close to you? Yeah.
4 places of pilgrimage. There are 4 places, Ananda, that a pious person should visit and look upon with feelings of reverence. What are the 4? Here the Tathagata was born. This, Ananda, is a place that a pious person should visit and look upon with feelings of reverence. Here the Tathagata became fully enlightened in unsurpassed supreme enlightenment. This, Ananda, is a place that a pious person should visit and look upon with feelings of reverence. Here the Tathagata set rolling the unexcelled wheel of Dhamma. This, Ananda, is a place that a pious person should visit and look upon with feelings of reverence. Here the Tathagata passed away into the state of Nibbana, in which no element of clinging remains. This, Ananda, is a place that a pious person should visit and look upon with feelings of reverence. These, Ananda, are the 4 places that a pious person should visit and look upon with feelings of reverence, and truly there will come to these places, Ananda, pious bhikkhus and bhikkhunis, laymen and laywomen reflecting. Here the Tathagata was born. Here the Tathagata became fully enlightened in unsurpassed supreme enlightenment. Here the Tathagata set rolling the unexcelled wheel of Dhamma. Here the Tathagata passed away into the state of Nibbana, in which no element of clinging remains. And whoever, Ananda, should die on such a pilgrimage with his heart established in faith, and the breaking up of the body after death will be reborn in a realm of heavenly happiness. Then the Venerable Ananda said to the Blessed One,
No. Now we go to another subject. Okay? I explained about this, what we just, Shima was reading just now. Like I told you before, Ananda asked, so what to do? How can we feel close to you? Or how we can get a benefit from you when you go? And then Ananda said that if anyone visit these 4 places, but the Buddha say we have to, with the dedication, with understanding. Because if someone suppose visit these 4 places, he go to sell some, I don't know, whatever, sell bread, sell carpet, I don't know. And then he walking and traveling in India or all these beggars, whatever, it's not beneficial for them because they don't really understand what happened there. But the Buddha said that if people will make the pilgrimage, this is why Ajahn asked us to do the pilgrimage every year. Now we stop it because of the corona. But till then, every year we go to visit the 4 places where the Buddha was active. And you see why Ajahn asked us to do it, because the Buddha says so. The Buddha said that if people will visit these 4 places, their mind will be very, very happy in the moment of dying. And then they go to better place. Yeah, what is these 4 places? The first place is Lumbini, the birthplace of the Buddha. Another place, it must be in the same order. It can be in different order, but just to visit there and to worship the places. So the first place we talk about is Lumbini, the birthplace of Buddha. It's today in Nepal. The another place is the place where the Buddha get enlightened, which is Bodh Gaya. Okay, and another place is the place where the Buddha was turning the wheels of Dhamma, teach the first time. This is Saranath near Varanasi. And the 4th place is Kusinara, what we are talking just now about. Okay, so the Buddha said to Ananda that if people, they go and worship these places, they visit these places, and they will understand what happened there. Yeah, they have their heart to the Buddha there, so when they die, they go to better place. Okay? Now Ananda continue asking questions to Buddha. Yeah.
Then the Venerable Ananda said to the Blessed One, how, Lord, should we conduct ourselves towards women?
We talk about monks. He asked him as a monk. He asked what we are as a monk. We have to deal with women. How we should consider with them. Yeah.
Do not see them, Ananda. But Lord, if we do not see them, do not speak, Ananda. But Lord, if they should speak to us, then Ananda, you should establish mindfulness.
You see what the Buddha said to Ananda? That the sense door is very, very important. Yeah, we have intense. The men and women, they have intense to fall in love in this. So as a monk, it's very, very delicate to the monk. So the Ananda asked what to do with the woman. He said, try to avoid the contact, so you will not have the possibility to something like protect your sense doors. Okay. So the Buddha said to Ananda, first try not to meet them. You say, if you meet them, try not to speak to them. And if you have to speak to them, you have to acknowledge a lot. Okay? Please.
Then the Venerable Ananda said, how should we act, Lord, respecting the body of the Tathagata?
So what we do after that, after you die, what we do with your body? Yeah.
Do not hinder yourselves, Ananda, to honor the body of the Tathagata. Rather, you should strive, Ananda, and be zealous on your own behalf.
You see what the Buddha said to Ananda? He said to him, don't trouble yourself. You are monks. Monks, don't trouble yourself with my body. Huh? And then who will take care about my body? You continue.
Be zealous on your own behalf for your own good. Unflinchingly, ardently, and resolutely, you should apply yourselves to your own good. For there are, Ananda, wise, noble, wise Brahmins and wise householders who are devoted to the Tathagata, and it is they who will render the honor to the body of the Tathagata.
See what the Buddha said to Ananda, you are monks. You just you practice meditation. You don't trouble yourself with all this work of taking care for my body. Let the people, the ordinary people, to take care about my body. Okay, you just practice meditation and struggle to nirvana. Yeah.
Then the Venerable Ananda said, but how, Lord, should they act respecting the body of the Tathagata?
He asked now about what the lay people will do with your body. How should, if they ask me what to do with your body after you die, how to cremate the body, what should I explain? Yeah.
After the same manner, Ananda, as towards the body of a universal monarch.
One moment, I explain what means universal monarch. Every very, very long time come one king, and this king is keeping the precept. He's so keeping the precept. Also, he asked the people from his country to keep the precept. So he ruling all over the world with justice. Okay, this is very, very difficult to find one king like this that is not fighting. Even if he's going with his army to another country, because he has so much prosperity. He have one wife taking care for him. He have a treasure man that know how to find the treasure under the sea. They know very well how to find the treasure under the sea. So he all the time have money. So if people are poor, he can give them food. You know, there is a different karma. Okay, so the people love him because he's good to the people. So when he go with his army to another country, the other country, they ask him to stay as a king for them because they happy. Why? We also want good country like you, treasure like you. So he, like this, he control all over the world. So the Ananda said, the Buddha said to Ananda, he asked him how to take care about your body as a Buddha after you die. The Buddha said to Ananda, you have to take care about my body the same like the people treating the king turning the wheels, it's called. Okay? This is the king, which is very, very pure.
Yes. But how, Lord, do they act respecting the body of a universal monarch? The body of a universal monarch, Ananda, is first wrapped round with new linen, and then with teased cotton wool. And so it is done up the 500 layers of linen and 500 of cotton wool. When that is done, the body of the universal monarch is placed in an iron oil vessel, which is enclosed in another iron vessel. A funeral pyre is built of all kinds of perfumed woods, and so the body of the universal monarch is burned, and at the crossroad a stupa is raised for the universal monarch. So it is done, Ananda, with the body of a universal monarch.
You see, the Buddha explained how to cover the body with different kind of clothes, with different kind of things, and then to cremate the body. Okay, explain exactly how to act it, how to do it. Yeah.
And even, Ananda, as with the body of a universal monarch, so it should be done with the body of the Tathagata. And at the crossroads, also a stupa should be raised for the Tathagata.
You see, the Buddha said that if after you cremate, you collect the relic, the remain, the things that left over, and you build for this memorial. Stupa it means memorial. Okay, the translation to English, it's stupa. It's in Pali, but in English it means memorial. Sometimes they build it in different shape. Okay, and then mostly they put the relic on the top. There is the way how to build the stupa. It's presenting the 31 words. So it looks like, before I give lecture about this, how it's every step on the stupa, it's like a mountain, it looks like, okay, or building like this. And this is presenting the 31 stages of the words. And on the top, it's out. So what it means out? Nirvana. So this is the spitz, the top of it. Okay, please.
And whosoever shall bring to that place garlands or incense or sandal paste, or pay reverence, and whose mind becomes calm there, it will be to his well-being and happiness for a long time.
You see why we are worshiping stupa? Because the Buddha explained about it. That's why we are doing all this ceremony with the stupa, with the memorials, or in the Buddhism. The Buddha said that if someone will worship it, it will give him so beneficial, like a merit, great merit. And one of the great merit that we have 10 kind of merit. One of them is respect elders, and for sure respect enlightened person or Buddha. Yeah?
There are 4 persons, Ananda, who are worthy of a stupa. Who are those 4? A Tathagata, an Arahant, a fully enlightened one is worthy of a stupa. So also is a Pachika Buddha, and a disciple of a Tathagata, and the universal monarch.
One moment. You see what is mean this for? The Buddha said that, okay, if the people, after you build a memorial, okay, for me, if people, they come there, they appreciate the worship, the stupa, they will gain a lot of merit, okay? It will give them push to be happy more and more. So the Buddha said to Ananda, there is 4 kinds of people which is so pure, so good in themselves. So when the people worship it with understanding, it will push them. One is the Buddha himself, okay? The second one is also Buddha. It means someone which get enlightened, but without teacher, and he's not teaching. This is called Pacheka Buddha, or silent Buddha. Buddha because he get enlightened by himself without teacher, and he's silent, which means he's not teaching. How we know about them? Because if he's not teaching, so who know about them? Because the Buddha say there is such things like this. So we know about it. So this is second. The third one is the students of the Buddha. What means student of the Buddha? Arahant, enlightened monk, which follow the Buddha teaching and get enlightened. Okay, this is Arahant. And the last one is the king turning the wheels that I explained before. So the Buddha said that these 4 people, it will be very beneficial for everybody if they worship the stupa of them. So we recommend you should make it in the crossroad, in the place where people crossing between. So they can, anywhere that people go, they can meet the stupa. They don't need to go specially to meet it. It's just in the crossroad, okay? So if people come from north to south or from east to the west, they can meet the stupa. It will be easy for them. Please.
And why Ananda is a Tathagata, an Arahant, a fully enlightened one, worthy of a stupa? Because Ananda, at the thought, this is the stupa of that blessed one, Arahant, fully enlightened one, the hearts of many people will be calmed and made happy, and so calmed and with their minds established in faith therein, at the breaking up of the body after death, they will be reborn in a realm of heavenly happiness. And so also at the thought, this is the stupa of that Pachika Buddha, or this is the stupa of a disciple of that Tathagata, Arahant, fully enlightened one, or this is the stupa of that righteous monarch who ruled according to the Dhamma. The hearts of many people are calmed and made happy, and so calmed and with their minds established in faith therein, at the breaking up of the body, after death, they will be reborn in a realm of heavenly happiness. And it is because of this Ananda that these four persons are worthy of a stupa.
You see what the Buddha said? Buddha said that if people worship these places with understanding, it means their mind will be so happy, so it's pushed them to better place. Please.
Ananda's grief. Then the Venerable Ananda went into the vihara and leaned against the post and wept, I am still but a learner, and still have to strive for my own perfection. But alas, my master, who was so compassionate towards me, is about to pass away.
One moment. You see, the Buddha, he was that time Sotapan, okay? He get enlightened only after the, Ananda, sorry. Ananda was that time Sotapan, okay? He followed the Buddha as a Sotapan. And only few months after the passing away of the Buddha, Ananda, they make a meeting. They make a meeting of the monk, and that time Ananda changed from Sotapan into Arahant by practicing. He practiced very, very strong. But now, in this moment, before the Buddha is going to die, Ananda is just a Sotapan. And I told you that Sotapan also has sorrow and sadness. Sakatakami also, second degree, also has sorrow and sadness. But in this case, Ananda is a Sotapan. That's why he started to cry. Oh, I'm going to lose my teacher. This means I'm still training. Who is not training? Arahant is not training. Arahant don't need to practice anymore. Enlightened person don't need to do anymore anything. But till then, it's considered to be training. Seka. Okay? Arahant is aseka. Aseka is not one that finished the training. He's not he already completed enlightened. He can sleep all day long and finish. Okay? But anyway, the others, Sotapan, Sakadagami, and Anagami, they still have to practice. They struggle. So Ananda is Sotapan, that's why he cried. Yeah.
And the Blessed One spoke to the bhikkhus, saying, where, bhikkhus, is Ananda? The Venerable Ananda Lord has gone into the vihara, and there standing, leaning against the doorpost and weeping, I am still but a learner, and still have to strive for my own perfection. But alas, my master, who was so compassionate towards me, is about to pass away. Then the Blessed One asked a certain bhikkhu to bring the Venerable Ananda to him, saying, go, bhikkhu, and say to Ananda, friend Ananda, the master calls you.
Okay, so what happened is Ananda is going and crying, and then the Buddha asking, where is Ananda? And then they say Ananda is crying. So the Buddha said to the monk, one of the monks, please go and call Ananda. I want to talk to him. Yeah.
So be it, Lord. And that bhikkhu went and spoke to the Venerable Ananda as the Blessed One had asked him to. And the Venerable Ananda went to the Blessed One, bowed down to him, and sat down on one side. Then the Blessed One spoke to the Venerable Ananda, saying, "Enough, Ananda. Do not grieve, do not lament. For have I thought from the very beginning that with all that is dear and beloved, there must be change, separation, and severance. Of that which is born, come into being, compounded, and subject to decay, how can one say, may it not come to dissolution? There can be no such state of things. Now for a long time, Ananda, you have served the Tathagata with loving kindness in deed, word, and thought, graciously, pleasantly, with the whole heart and beyond measure. Great good have you gathered, Ananda. Now you should put forth energy, and soon you will be free from the taints."
You see, the Buddha explained to Ananda, everything is anicca, everything changing. Whatever there is a birth, there is a dying. How can you be the dying? It will not finish the connection between us. How is possible that the Buddha will stay forever and the relationship between me and you will stay forever? So don't worry. If you practice, you stay with me so long, you collect so much merit. So you don't worry, Buddha said to Ananda. Soon you will get enlightened. Soon you will complete your mission. Just continue practicing. I promise you that you will, you see the Buddha already promising to Ananda, soon you will get enlightened. He tell him already about it. Please.
Praise of Ananda. Then the Blessed One addressed the bhikkhus, saying, "Bhikkhus, the Blessed Ones, Arahants, fully enlightened ones, of times past also had excellent and devoted attendant bhikkhus."
Sorry, you see what the Buddha say here? It's very interesting because also there is different kind of sutta talking about different Buddhas in the past and even in the future. About different Buddhas that will come in the past. They already came in the past. And so some criterions there is to all the Buddhas. All the Buddha have right attendant and left attendant. All the Buddha, they're coming from different castes. So the Buddha say also that all the Buddhas in the past, in the future, also now, there is someone like Ananda taking care for him, assistant. Okay? Yeah, please.
Such I have in Ananda. And so also bhikkhus will the Blessed One, Arahants, fully enlightened ones of times to come. Capable and judicious is Ananda bhikkhus, for he knows the proper time for bhikkhus to have audience with the Tathagata, and the time for bhikkhunis, the time for laymen and for laywomen, the time for kings and for ministers of state, the time for teachers of other sect and for their followers. In Ananda bhikkhus are to be found 4 rare and superlative qualities.
One moment, Sima, before we continue with this one, you see what the Buddha said to the monk? He embraced Ananda, yeah? And he said that Ananda, he know exactly the timing because Ananda was his duty. One of his duty was to give permission to other people to meet the Buddha. Okay, so the Buddha said that he knew it very well that how to give permission to the people, whoever it is, if it's lay people, if it's a monk or whatever, when is a suitable time for this person to meet the Buddha, for this person to meet the Buddha. Now Buddha continue to give compliment to Ananda in 4 kinds of qualities.
What are the 4? If bhikkhus, a company of bhikkhus, should go to see Ananda, they become joyful on seeing him. And if he then speaks of them of the Dhamma, they are made joyful by his discourse. And when he becomes silent, they are disappointed. So it is also when bhikkhus, bhikkhunis, laymen or laywomen go to see Ananda, they become joyful on seeing him. And if he then speaks to them of the Dhamma, they are made joyful by his discourse. And when he becomes silent, they are disappointed.
You see, what they say that anyone that meets Ananda, he was very happy to meet them. He was joyful to make conversation with him, to hear what they are talking. And even if Ananda was not talking or not giving some advice or whatever, he was disappointed. He wished that Ananda would talk to him. Yeah.
In a universal monarch, bhikkhus are to be found 4 rare and superlative qualities. What are those 4? If bhikkhus, a company of nobles, should go to see the universal monarch, they become joyful on seeing him. And if he then speaks, they are made joyful by his talk. And when he becomes silent, they are disappointed. So it is also when a company of Brahmins, of householders, or of ascetics goes to see a universal monarch. And in just the same way, bhikkhus in Ananda are to be found these 4 rare and superlative qualities.
You see what the Buddha doing? He compared Ananda to the king turning the wheels. Actually, Ananda in the past life, he also was king in certain time. He met the Buddha in the occasion that he himself was a good king. I mean, in Varanasi, yes, but this is belong to the Jataka, to the past story of the Ananda. Okay, so the Buddha compare Ananda to the king turning the wheels with this kind of qualities. Please.
The past glory of Kusinara. When this had been said, the Venerable Ananda spoke to the Blessed One, saying, "Let it not be, Lord, that the Blessed One should pass away in this mean place, this uncivilized township in the midst of the jungle, a mere outpost of the province."
One moment. Also today, actually, when these people we visit a few times. I told you before, Kusinara. It's just a one street actually. There is a very, very small place. And Ananda said to the Buddha, "Why you have to stay to finish your life in so remote place, so not important place? There is so great places that people know you there. So many people, they know you there. Why you have to come here to so small and not important place? Please.
There are great cities, Lord, such as Kampa, Rajagaha, Savatthi, Saketa, Kusambi, and Benares. Let the Blessed One have his final passing away in one of those. For in those cities dwell many wealthy nobles and Brahmins and householders who are devotees of the Tathagata, and they will render due honor to the remains of the Tathagata.
See what the Buddha, Ananda said to the Buddha, and say, "Why you have to stay here? There is much more bigger city, and why you have to finish here?" Okay.
Do not say that, Ananda. Do not say this mean place, this uncivilized township in the midst of the jungle, a mere outpost of the province. In times long past, Ananda, there was a king by the name of Mahasudassana.
You know who is this Mahasudassana? Mahasudassana is the Buddha himself. In the past life, he was a king turning the woods. He was there. He was living in Kusinara, and Kusinara was his city, the main city of them. This small place, actually, the Buddha was the king, the great king there. Yeah.
The king by the name of Mahasudassana, who was universal monarch, a king of righteousness, a conqueror of the 4 quarters of the earth, whose realm was established in security, and who was endowed with the 7 jewels.
7 jewels is one woman, great woman, treasure, elephant, 7 things, qualities like this that he have that help him to rule in justice, and he never miss anything. Yeah.
And that King Mahasudassana Ananda had his royal residence here at Kusinara, which was then called Kusavati, and it extended 12 Joyanas from east to west and 7 from north to south.
Big place it was that time, and Buddha himself in the past, he was a king, he was ruling, and he was king turning the wheels. He was controlling all over the world with the justice. Long time ago. This is talking about By the way, our sutta it's Majjhima Nikaya 16. So much in the next sutta in the come after the Majjhima Nikaya Sutta 16. This is the 17. It's the called Maha-parinibbana Sutta, and there's the story of the Buddha in the past life as a king turning the wheels there. Then he's talking about Kusinara as a city, and all the stories about the king. Yeah, please.
And mighty Ananda was Kusavati, the capital, prosperous and well populated, much frequented by people, and abundantly provided with food, just as the royal residence of the deities, Alakamanda, is mighty, prosperous, and well populated, much frequented by deities, and abundantly provided with food. So was the royal capital of Kusavati. Kusavati Ananda resounded unceasingly day and night with 10 sounds: the trumpeting of elephants, the neighing of horses, the rattling of chariots, the beating of drums and tabours, music and song, cheer, the clapping of hands, and cries of eat, drink, and be merry.
You see, what Buddha said, that this Kusinara now is just, I told you, just a street. There's not much things to see there. But that time it was great city. Okay, that the king himself used to stay there. But this was long, many eons before, or long time before. Okay, please.
Lamentation of the Malas. Go now, Ananda, to Kusinara and announce to the Malas. Today,
Mala is the people. Mala is the people of Kusinara, of the area where the Buddha is staying now. Okay.
today, Pasetas, in the last watch of the night, the Tathagata's parinibbana will take place. Approach, O Pasetas, draw near. Do not be remorseful later at the thought. In our township, it was that the Tathagata parinibbana took place, but we failed to see him at the end.
You see, now we are talking about this, that we are now about nearly 6 o'clock, okay? Coming nearly 6 o'clock or something like this, maybe 5 o'clock in the evening. And the Buddha said to Ananda, go now to the people of Kusinara and call them, tell them to come here to say goodbye to me before I'm stopping my life. I will stop my life at about 2 o'clock in the morning. Okay, the Buddha said 2 o'clock in about 2 o'clock in the morning I will die. So now it's about evening time. He said to them, to Ananda, please go and call to the people nearby, the Mala, the people that living nearby Kusinara. Yeah.
So be it, Lord. And the Venerable Ananda prepared himself, and taking bowl and robe, went with a companion to Kusinara. Now at the time the Malas had gathered in the council hall for some public business, and the Venerable Ananda approached them and announced, today, Vasetas, in the last watch of the night, the Tathagata parinibbana will take place. Approach, Vasetas, draw near. Do not be remorseful later at the thought, in our township it was that the Tathagata's parinibbana took place, but we failed to see him at the end.
You see, till now, the angels coming. Okay, the angels coming to separate from the Buddha. It's from, let's say, about 2 o'clock or till 6 o'clock. This is the time when Ananda also making all this conversation with the Buddha. Now the Buddha say to Ananda, go and call to the Mala, to the people that living nearby here to come to say goodbye. Yeah.
When they heard the Venerable Ananda's words, the Malas with their sons, their wives, and the wives of their sons were sorely grieved at heart and afflicted. And some, with their hair all disheveled, with arms uplifted in despair, wept, flinging themselves on the ground. They rolled from side to side, lamenting, "Too soon has the Blessed One come to his parinibbana. Too soon has the Happy One come to his parinibbana. Too soon will the eye of the world vanish from sight." And thus afflicted and filled with grief, the Malas with their sons, their wives, and the wives of their sons went to the Sala Grove, the recreation park of the Malas, to the place where the Venerable Ananda was.
Okay, now they are coming. Okay, you see they are crying, shouting. Also, let's say the hysteric. Instead, the Buddha going to die. Oh, panic. Okay, and then they are gathering and they're coming to meet the Buddha where the Buddha is laying down. Yeah.
And the thought arose in the Venerable Ananda, if I were to allow the Malas of Kushinara to pay reverence to the Blessed One by one, the night will have given place to dawn before they are all presented to him. Therefore, let me divide them up according to clan, each family in a group, and so present them to the Blessed One thus. The Mala of such and such a name, Lord, with his wives and children, his attendants and his friends, pay homage at the feet of the Blessed One.
You see, so many people. So Ananda thinking how they come to visit, but they need to visit. All of them have to visit between 6 o'clock to 10 o'clock in the evening. They have 4 hours. And if I will let them come by one by one, all the night will finish. How to make it that it will be feeding to this time? And then he decided that every group of family with all these assistants and this, they will come together and present one group with one group. Yeah.
And the Venerable Ananda divided the Malas up according to clan, each family in a group, and presented them to the Blessed One. So it was that the Venerable Ananda caused the Malas of Kushinara to be presented to the Blessed One by clans, each family in a group, even in the first watch of the night.
Finish them with 4 hours, you couldn't present all of them. It means now we're coming about 10 o'clock in the night.
The last,
yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, please.
The last convert. Now at that time, a wandering ascetic named Subhada was dwelling at Kusinara. And Subhada, the wandering ascetic, heard it said, today in the third watch of the night, the parinibbana of the ascetic Gautama will take place.
There is one yogi walking around, and then he was hearing the idea that, the Buddha is going to die. Okay, so he want to ask him something. He said, I must ask the Buddha something before he's dying. Yeah.
And the thought arose in him, I have heard it said by an old and venerable wandering ascetic, teachers of teachers, that the arising of Tathagatas, Arahants, fully enlightened ones, is rare in the world. Yet this very day, in the last watch of the night, the parinibbana of the ascetic Gautama will take place. Now, there is in me a doubt, but to this extent I have faith in the ascetic Gautama, that he could so teach me the Dhamma as to remove that doubt.
You see, he say, he had question, he want to ask the Buddha. The question, he said, I'm sure that the Buddha, he have a confidence on the Buddha. He said, the Buddha can help to overcome my doubt. He can solve my question. This now about 10 o'clock in the evening, okay? Yeah.
Then the wandering ascetic Subhadda went to the Sala Grove, the recreation park of the Malas, and drew near to the Venerable Ananda and told the Venerable Ananda his thought. And he spoke to the Venerable Ananda saying, Friend Ananda, it would be good if I could be allowed into the presence of the ascetic Gautama.
Coming to Ananda and asking permission to talk to the Buddha.
But the Venerable Ananda answered him saying, Enough, friend Subhadda. Do not trouble the Tathagata. The Blessed One is weary.
Don't forget, the Buddha is very sick. It's a deathbed. He is going to die soon. And now this ascetic coming and want to ask question, and Ananda thinking, he going to make debate. He want to start to argue with the Buddha. This is not the time to argue with the Buddha. You know. He want to show off or whatever. I don't want to let them come. Trouble the Buddha at this last moment to show off something. Yeah.
Yet a second and a third time, the wandering ascetic Subhadda made his request, and a second and a third time, the Venerable Ananda refused him.
He asked again and again, and the Buddha, Ananda said, no, we don't trouble the Buddha, to trouble other monks. Yeah.
And the Blessed One heard the talk between them, and he called the Venerable Ananda and said, stop, Ananda. Do not refuse Subhadda. Subhadda Ananda may be allowed into the presence of the Tathagata. For whatever he will ask me, he will ask for the sake of the knowledge and not as an offense. And the answer I give him, that he will readily understand.
You see, the Buddha said to Ananda, he's something like hearing this conversation. He said to Ananda, don't disturb him, let them come to talk to me. He will be able to understand the Dharma if he will ask me and I answer.
Thereupon the Venerable Ananda said to the wandering ascetic Subhadda, go then, friend Subhadda, the Blessed One gives you leave. Then the wandering ascetic Subhadda approached the Blessed One and saluted him courteously. And having exchanged with him pleasant and civil greetings, the wandering ascetic Subhadda seated himself at one side and addressed the Blessed One, saying, there are, Venerable Gautama, ascetics and Brahmins who are heads of great companies of disciples, who have large retinues, who are leaders of schools, well known and renowned, and held in high esteem by the multitude, such teachers as Purana Kassapa, Mikali Gosala, Ajita Kisakambali, Paduka Kachanya, Sanjaya Bilataputa, Niganta Nataputa. Have all of these attained realizations, as each of them would have it believed, or has none of them? Or is it some have attained realizations and others not?
You see, he asked what he asked. There's so many famous teachers, and the Buddha, he know that the Buddha have power to know them. They know to read minds of people. He asked, is any one of them that he really enlightened? Or maybe all of them, or one of them, or few of them? Can you tell me any one of them which is really enlightened?
Enough, Subhadda. Let it be as it may. Whether all of them have attained realization, as each of them would have it believed, or whether none of them has, or whether some have attained realization and others not, I will teach you the Dhamma, Subhadda. Listen and heed it well, and I will speak.
Yeah, so you see what the Buddha said, don't think too much about them. I will teach you the Dharma. You will understand by yourself. Doesn't matter if they reach enlightenment, they didn't reach enlightenment. I will teach you the Dharma. You will understand the Dharma by yourself. And now the Buddha gives the answer.
So be it, Lord. The lions roar, and the Blessed One spoke, saying, in whatsoever Dhamma and discipline, Subhadda, there is not found the Noble Eightfold Path, neither is there found a true ascetic of the first, second, third, or fourth degree of saintliness. But in whatsoever Dhamma and disciple there is found the Noble Eightfold Path, there is found a true ascetic of the first, second, third, and fourth degrees of saintliness. Now in this Dhamma and disciple, Subhadda, is found the Noble Eightfold Path, and in it alone are also found true ascetics of the first, second, third, and fourth degree of saintliness. Devoid of true ascetics are the systems of other teachers. But if, Subhadda, the bhikkhus live righteously, the world will not be destitute of arahats.
You see what the Buddha is saying? That you remember the book Ekaya no Mako, the only way? This is what the Buddha actually said to Ananda. He said there is only one way to get enlightened, to purify the mind, to clean the mind. This is the eightfold path. And the Buddha said it doesn't matter how you call this religion or whatever religion it is. If there is eightfold path inside, the people you will see four kinds of people: Sotapan, Sakadagami, Anagami, and Arahant. And he said to him more, that if all the people, the students, the bhikkhu, the monks, they will practice the eightfold path, will not be missing of Arahant around the world. This is what the Buddha said to the monk. He said that this is not depend on how you call the religion or whatever, okay? But it depends if there is a teaching of eightfold path. And then he said, in our teaching, there is the eightfold path. Yeah.
In age but 29 was I, Subhadda. When I renounced the world to seek the good, 51 years have passed since then, Subhadda. And in all that time, a wanderer have I been, in the domain of virtue and of truth. And except therein, there is no saint of the first degree. And there is none of the second degree, nor of the third degree, nor of the fourth degree of saintliness. Devoid of the true ascetics are the systems of other teachers. But if, Subhadda, the bhikkhus live righteously, the world will not be destitute of arahats.
You see, the Buddha said to Ananda, when I was practicing with other teachers, nobody of them knew really about the eightfold path. Only when I found out this eightfold path, then people, they could get enlightened. But only if they practice. Only if the monk will not be negligent and they really practice the eightfold path, they will not be missing of Arahant around the world. Yeah.
When this was said, the wandering ascetic Subhadda spoke to the Blessed One, saying, Excellent, O Lord, most excellent, O Lord. It is as if, Lord, one were to set upright what had been overthrown, or to reveal what had been hidden, or to show the path to one who had gone astray, or to light a lamp in the darkness, so that those with eyes might see. Even so has the Blessed One set forth the Dhamma in many ways. And so, O Lord, I take my refuge in the Blessed One, the Dhamma, and the community of bhikkhus. May I receive from the Blessed One admission to the order and also the higher ordination.
See what he asked him, so he said, I want to be monk under you. He was very happy about the answer of the Buddha. So he said, I want to be monk under you. Yeah.
Whoever,
this will be the last story we are going to read, and then we will continue next week. Okay, please.
Whoever, Subhadda, having been formerly a follower of another creed, wishes to receive admission and higher ordination in this dhamma and discipline, remains on probation for a period of 4 months. At the end of those 4 months, if the bhikkhus are satisfied with him, they grant him admission and higher ordination as a bhikkhu. Yet in this matter, I recognize differences of personalities.
You see what the Buddha said to him, you want to be monk, but you are coming from another religion. People coming from another religion, they have to make break from their religion for 4 months and to try to be with our religion, to the Buddha religion, okay? And if the monk of the Buddha religion, they really see that he's capable to live the life of monkhood, okay? In the Buddha religion, they might accept him as a bhikkhu, as a monk. But it's not that just someone just come from another religion and then immediately they will ordain them. Okay, so we have to make, they have to test them first. But the Buddha say there is some people which is different. I can consider about other people which is different, which is not will be like this. Yeah.
If, O Lord, whoever having been formerly a follower of another creed wishes to receive admission and higher ordination in this dhamma and discipline, remains on probation for a period of 4 months, and at the end of those 4 months, if the bhikkhus are satisfied with him, they grant him admission and higher ordination as a bhikkhu. Then I will remain on probation for a period of 4 years. And at the end of those 4 years, if the bhikkhus are satisfied with me, let them grant me admission and higher ordination as a bhikkhu.
You see, you have so much confidence in the Buddha. You say, okay, I don't mind. If you ask me to stay 4 months, I don't mind to stay 4 years, because you already have so confidence in the Buddha. So you say, it doesn't matter for me. I know I'm Buddhist in my heart. So that's why he said to the Buddha, if you need 4 months, it doesn't matter for me. I can stay 4 years without ordination with the Sangha. And then they test me. Show how confidence you have in the Buddha. Yeah.
But the Blessed One called the Venerable Ananda and said to him, Ananda, let Subhadra be given admission into the order. And the Venerable Ananda replied, so be it, Lord. Then the wandering ascetic Subhadra said to the Venerable Ananda, it is a gain to you, friend Ananda, a blessing, that in the presence of the Master himself, you have received the sprinkling of ordination as a disciple. So it came about that the wandering ascetic Subhadra, in the presence of the Blessed One, received admission and higher ordination. And from the time of this ordination, the Venerable Subhadra remained alone, secluded, heedful, ardent and resolute, and before long he attained to the goal for which a worthy man goes forth rightly from home to homelessness, the supreme goal of the holy life, and having by himself realized it with higher knowledge, he dwelt therein, he knew, destroyed is birth, the higher life is fulfilled, nothing more is to be done, and beyond this life, nothing more remains. And the Venerable Subhadra became yet another among the Arahants, and he was the last disciple converted by the Blessed One himself.
You see, this is actually, we will finish here. So Bada, he was in the night before the Buddha passed away, actually a few hours, he is still ordained one monk. And this monk was so quality that he get enlightened also later on. Okay? So this is the Subhadra was the last monk of the Buddha, ordained monk under the Buddha. He was so excited that he give compliment to Ananda. You could be monk under the Buddha himself. Actually, he showed that how much he himself happy that he have the possibility to ordain after Buddha, under Buddha. Because if not, the Buddha will say, okay, you stay. It's me. The Buddha will pass away, and then the other monks have to ordain after this. But in this case, the Buddha himself ordained. So he really appreciates. Okay, you see here we are coming to the story about the passing away of the Buddha, but we are already too late, so we will continue this next week. Okay, we will continue the story next week. It's long sutta. Okay, anyone have questions till here? Anyone want to know something about what we was reading today, talking today? By the way, I told you that the Buddha he came to Kusinara. All the Buddhas in the past, in the future, and also our Buddha, they passing away in the city named Kusinara. All of them. This is common to all the Buddhas. The name of the city of the passing away is Kusinara. The Buddha will not pass away in another city. Another things the people say, why the Buddha come to this small city? it's that he have the possibility to convert Subhadra. So this is also one interpretation. Why he come to Kusinagara? So he can convert Subhadra, because if he go another place, maybe missing Subhadra. But here again. But actually all the Buddhas, they, in the past, in the future, they're passing away on Kusinagara. Even Kusinagara is very, very small. Good. So again, anyone have any questions or something want to ask? Good. So we will pay respect again to the Buddha. We will continue next week. Aham sama sambuddho bhagava Buddham bhagavantam abhivamade Sawakato bhagavata dhammo dhamman namasami Upadipanto bhagavato savam sankaram. Thank you very much. Good night.
Okay.
Sadhu, sadhu.